What's up? You're watching Poots Garage. I don't know how I'm gonna keep that energy up for the whole video, but this week we got a whole bunch of stuff to take care of. I'm really tired, but I'm not tired. I'm tired of not getting things done. So I'm finally motivated. We've had a busy last month and a half, and I wanna get some stuff done. So it's my long weekend. I'm gonna try and keep this camera going all weekend, so we're gonna be all over the place. I gotta work on this truck. We gotta finish some stuff up on that. I got something for the Jeep I'm gonna throw in. I'm gonna try and work on the Ram a little bit. We're just gonna do a little bit of everything. So for the Chevy, we're gonna try and finish up these shocks. I need to get these front shocks in, and we'll go over that here in a minute. The Jeep, we got this, we got a dead pedal on. It's nothing too exciting, but I'll explain what all that is later. I'm not gonna do a full install video on this video. Maybe I'll do a separate one or something for the Jeep people. Yeah, I'm just gonna show what that does and how that goes on. And we kind of cleaned up the whole shop. It's looking a lot better in here, but it's still a mess. Over on this side, I cleaned up a whole bunch of junk that I had laid out here from when I was working on this, mostly the fuel tanks. So you can see I still got one fuel tank. I got one of them emptied out. The gasoline is in buckets outside. I don't want to use that gas. It's just too nasty. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get rid of that. But we kind of cleared up our spaces up here a little bit. I still got some more parts I need to figure out what to do with. And we're getting through there. We're cleaning stuff up. Corvette is doing great. I haven't done anything with this. I'm kind of waiting on some stuff, kind of in a way. I'm waiting on some stereo upgrades to be released to hopefully get some stuff going on the inside of there. Haven't been spending money on it like I've wanted to. It still needs exhaust and some other stuff. Still got to throw in the aftermarket shifter that's sitting on the bench. Stuff like that, but we're not going to touch on this at all this weekend, but it's doing good. It's doing good. I drove to Tahoe, went to Lake Tahoe the other day, a couple weeks ago. Did awesome. Cruised it out there, cruised it back. A couple hour drive each way. It was a great driving car. And before we start getting into some parts and installs and stuff, let's head over to the map. And we're at the map. So what we do is you comment where you're watching from and I'll put a red pin on the map. So let's get to it. We got 19 locations. First up is Houston, Texas. Then Oakwood, Georgia. Davie, Florida. Grand Junction, Colorado. Carthage, Maine at the Rocky Mountain Terrain Park. Mendoza, Argentina. Mansfield, Ohio. Boise, Idaho. Mona, Utah. Prince George, BC, Canada. Byhalia, Mississippi. Winnipeg, Manitoba. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Spokane, Washington. Houston, Texas again. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Fort Morgan, Colorado. Searcy, Arkansas. And last is Sandpoint, Idaho. Alright, that's all the pins for this week. Keep calling out them cities, them states, them countries, whatever you want to represent. Alright, I really appreciate everybody's comments and subscriptions and everything everybody's doing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe this video because we are a growing YouTube channel and we're trying to take this somewhere. Back to the truck. These are the front shock mounts. As you can see, they probably look a lot different than maybe what I've shown in the past. That's because I spent an entire day working on these already, but I didn't do any filming just because I wasn't in the mood. And that was last weekend. I just wasn't in the mood to do stuff and like videoing stuff. I just wanted to get some stuff done. But I took a couple quick clips, so let's cut to that. Before I start hacking up the second unit, I wanted to make sure I showed you guys the before and after, just so you can kind of see what we got going on with. So I've completely remade this one off camera. I'm just not filming right now, so we are just running with it. But you can see how much we cut off. We had to notch it out. The hole, we had to drill our 3 holes. So you can see how much of a difference it is. It's quite a bit shorter, but it still gives us about, what is that, 5 inches of extra length on the shock. Yeah, it's working out pretty good. You're probably not gonna see any video of me actually doing all this stuff, so I just kind of threw some fresh paint on underneath where the bracket's going, but you probably can't really see anything. This is the, it's like a hump in the frame where it comes out. And this had a stud sticking out where the old shock would mount. And then it had another bracket back here that kind of sandwiched it in. Yeah, so obviously we took that out. And this is the old hump. That's the hump that we're cutting the shock out around because I don't want to make that flat on the frame. I'm not trying to modify the frame that much. So you can see we've drilled out, what is it, 2 holes on the bottom. One of those was already there, we just made it bigger, and then our third hole is way up here. So yeah, it's working out pretty good, and you're probably not gonna see it until it's done. And this is the passenger side before I've even messed with it. The hump's right there. I'm gonna have to do the same thing on this side. There's been lots of opportunity to make video, but I'm just not in the mood this last week. I'm just trying to get through some stuff here. So basically what we did is we've used the plasma cutter to actually cut these holes out, which is working out pretty good. Things working awesome. I kind of had to read up a little bit and actually learn how to use it a little better. So, you know, we cut it out pretty clean and then cleaned it up best we can with files, and then we lopped off the whole end of it here really clean. I was able to do a great job cutting that off and then just cleaning it up with a grinder. No big deal. Next, I gotta finish painting this thing since, you know, obviously I've cut and ground a bunch of paint off it. So I'm gonna repaint them orange, Poots Garage orange, just to make them look good. And then I also have like really nice clean holes because I've been using the new drill press. That thing's working awesome. Just trying to do things as clean and as, I don't know, as professional as possible. It's working out pretty good right now. And you can see I've got the strap still on the shock from shipping. The way they have this thing strapped up, it's pretty much right in the middle of its travel. Maybe about 3/4 of an inch long, but that's almost nothing for what I'm working with, and that's a good length for me. I think I'm setting these shocks up right in the middle of their travel. I could go a little longer so they have a little, or no, shorter, to give them a little less rebound and more not rebound, but you know what I mean, less travel to close and then more travel to droop. And so but once these front springs wear in and stuff, they might actually sit up right where I need them, but I'm just going to set them up in the middle. It's a good baseline. Things can be adjusted later if I really want to, so that's what we're going with. But the way they got these straps set up, it's perfect because I can set the shock in there, I can bolt it in, I can place it up in there, and then I can just put the holes right where I need. I can see where I need to cut. I'm not dealing with trying to compress the shock and keep it in the right location, and oh, that would be a nightmare. I'm so glad I had one of these that still was closed like that. And now back to the present time. So these are the shock mounts. These things are ready to go. I painted them last week, so they've been curing all week, and they don't look too bad. They're looking pretty good. We're orange again, so it looks great. Our shocks are ready to go. I think we're ready to go. I might have to modify my lower shock mounts on the axle itself, but yeah, we're just gonna throw these in and start getting this thing together. Oh, you have no idea how good that feels to finally get those shock mounts in there. I've been needing to do that for a long time. Don't worry about the rusty frame, we'll clean that up some other day. Obviously my shocks aren't in yet, but you can see how they're coming up through the into the engine compartment a little bit here. This side actually ended up being an inch longer, which is kind of weird. I set the shocks at the same height, left and right, but this one had to be an inch longer, which is kind of weird. And I couldn't figure out where my measurement difference was. The truck is sitting level. I measured that, everything's level, so I don't know why. Must be something to do with the placement on the axle of those shock mounts or something. Don't remember how much I talked about this before, but I just kind of wanted to show the difference in shock length here. So I set these up on the truck at right height with the way it's sitting with the strap on. This is pretty much halfway in its travel. So I don't know, I wrote all my measurements down there so I can remember. Yeah, they're sitting halfway in their travel. I think they're actually about 3/4 of an inch more, which is fine because the truck's gonna settle. It's a good baseline to set it at so that I can actually, if I really want to play with it later, if I want to change my compression and droop or whatever you want to call it, I can do that later, but putting them right in the middle is probably just the best bet for now until I figure things out. And obviously this is at full length here. So before I start messing with this lower mount, I kind of wanted to show you what we're working with here. So these mounts here, which is right here, they're not level with the shock. The shock's at an angle, and I don't want to put that bushing under too much stress, especially when this thing's out moving, flexing around and whatnot. So I think I'm gonna try and actually bend one of these tabs, I'm not sure which one yet, try and cock it to at the angle it needs to be and see how it lines up with the other one. This hole I actually have to drill out more anyways, so maybe once I get it at the right angles, I can run the drill bit through and it'll be nice and even, but I don't know, I'm playing with this, so I'll get back to you when I figure something out. And we got shocks in now. Check it out, this is what I did down below. So I really didn't have to do a whole lot. I actually just tweaked one of them and then tweaked the other one and then beat it down with a hammer. I was actually able to make it work pretty good. You can see the shock sits, once it focuses in, shit's pretty level in there. It's a little crooked, but I don't think that's gonna be an issue. And we got plenty of clearance going all the way up. And that's what it looks like coming up through there. Those Bilsteins look good coming into this engine compartment. You got the aluminum bodies with the aluminum on the motor that needs to be cleaned up still. It's gonna look pretty good. I like this. I'm happy with it. And we are done. We finally have shocks complete. They're done. They're all mounted up. I'm happy. So you can see the driver's side poking through there. Had a little bit more clearance issues with the steering shaft and stuff like that, but it's in the same location as the other side. You can see we're all mounted up. Got my lower brackets all tweaked into place so that they're all working good. And yeah, this part is done. I'm glad. Now we can move on to other things. I'm not ready to do it yet, but we still got to do a lot of small stuff like axle breathers. I got a Zerk fitting on one of the kingpins that's broken off. I got to fish that out and put a new one in. We still got to do bump stops. I got to figure all that out. I'm not too worried about a lot of this stuff right now though. I can drive it around a little bit the way it is, so I ain't too worried about it. But yeah, we're making good progress. This thing is pretty good now. Also noticed I might have to trim these inner fenders up on the front end a little bit. They're so rusty anyways, they're just flaking apart. But I might have to cut some of that out because as you can see at full lock, they're pretty close. Though they will move backwards a little bit as they come up, but I don't know if they're gonna clear completely. So yeah, we do have to take it back out, flex it all out, make sure everything still clears, everything's good. Make sure our initial cuts are actually good. I haven't even tested that out yet. So yeah, we do need to get this thing back out. All right, now that we got the truck taken care of for now, let's jump to the Jeep. I got this brand new part I need to put on. So this is called a dead pedal. What this is gonna do is just mount in the Jeep. And it gives your left foot somewhere to sit when you're driving because, I don't know, these Jeeps have lots of room in there, but your left foot just feels like it has nowhere to go. It's just flat on the floor. So basically all this is, it's just one bolt. It's literally just one bolt up on the firewall that basically holds it in there, and it kind of sits there. It's got an adjustment. And yeah, I'm not gonna bore you guys with an install video or nothing just because it's so basic. So we'll show it off once we're done here though. Guess we better show you the before also. So this is our footwell here. We got lots of room, but you can see where my foot goes here. It doesn't even really kick up much until it goes way back there. So your foot just kind of sits flat out here on long drives. It kind of, you start to notice it. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing in here and hopefully that'll fix it. And just like that, we are in. Super easy to install. I like it. It's a lot more comfortable just to sit in there. And you can kind of adjust the angle if you want it to sit down a couple notches, you can. This one's basically hinged so that you can get your floor mat out to clean it and do whatever you need. It just chills right there. It's actually super comfortable. Feels a lot better just sitting in there now. Sorry for the nighttime recording too. And the only other thing I've done to this Jeep is actually added the phone mount here, which is the fancy bullet point. That's a real nice phone mount. I run the same thing in the Dodge over there, and I've always liked it for several years now, so I bought the same thing for this. And my lighting's kind of horrible out here right now. And this one here is actually the Ruby Grid, so it's got a, can't really show there. There's got a piece that mounts up on top of the dash. I actually have a second mount up there for a GoPro if I ever actually upgrade my game and get a new GoPro. But yeah, we're doing good on this Jeep. Guess we better show you the brand too, just in case anybody really likes this mod. And this is the Quadratec brand one. This is pretty good. The Quadratec brand stuff is pretty decent these days. That whole pedal assembly is all, I believe it's stainless steel, and it's super thick. I thought it'd be some like thin sheet metal, but no, it's actually really thick and heavy. So you do pay a little bit more for this brand over like an Amazon branded product or something, but I really like it. So it's definitely worth it. All right, now that we got the Jeep taken care of, I gotta take care of one more thing. This truck, I gotta work on something real quick. It's something that we worked on a long time ago. I know it's not the most exciting stuff, but that headache rack that I have on there, it's got a couple of lights on the back, you know, like work lights to shine off the back of it. I have never hooked those up since I put this headache rack on, and it's been years now. Traffic, busy night tonight. So yeah, I put that headache rack on when I bought this truck back in 2017, and I've never actually hooked those lights up. Now, like 6 months ago, I kind of got the bug, and I hooked up the switch and the relay, and I hooked up the powers and all that stuff. And then I found out I was short on wiring, so I ordered wire. But now the wire's just been sitting all summer. So we're finally just gonna run a couple wires and hook this thing up, hopefully for good. Still gotta put the fuse back in. I think I pulled that out when I realized I didn't have everything I needed. So yeah, let's finish that up real quick. Alright, I've got all the wiring done. It's all zip tied in place. It's looking good, ready to go. I just gotta find my fuse, put it in, and then we'll try these things out. Somewhere. Got it. All the time. Yep. Well, that's not working very well. All right, let's try that again. Blew my fuse. New fuse, try it again. Hey, we got lights. All right, I'm glad that's done. Whew, we fixed it. So it was one of the really cheap Deutsch connectors, whatever you want to call them, had broken. And the pin was coming out and the connector was just so brittle. I don't know, just from being on the back of the truck or just cheap quality, I don't know. But we ended up just cutting it out and just butt connecting it together and calling it a day. Kind of messed up my routing because I lost some wire length, but we got that taken care of. So it's done. I got lights on the back of the truck that I'll probably never use. Good to go. Day 3 of the weekend. I'm tired, guys. I just keep getting kicked down. I don't know what it is. So we've made a little bit of progress in this video. We got a couple projects done, mainly the Chevy. I'm happy. I'm glad we got some stuff done, but I was trying to be more productive, right? But god damn. I woke up today with a bunch of emails and text messages and all this crap because somebody hacked into my bank account. I swear, it's always something. Something's always kicking me down, like, God. So I've spent all day today on the phone, getting things set up. I'm a mess. So I didn't get nothing done today because I've just been out of it. Just not in the mood. Pissed off, mad, angry, disappointed, whatever, all the emotions. So what happened is, somehow somebody hacked into my bank account. They, activated my Zelle, which I haven't used in years. They actually had to activate it. They added an email and they started transferring my money out. And so as soon as I woke up and I saw that, it was like jump out of bed, get on the phone and start getting stuff figured out. And I've had my debit card compromised many times. It seems like once a year my debit card gets compromised. I think it's the gas stations out here. They got skimmers on stuff everywhere out here, it seems like. And so I finally got to the point where I had moved almost all my bills to be directly connected to my bank account instead. So I don't have to change all that when I have to replace a debit card. It's not as big a deal. But no, they go in and steal my whole goddamn bank account. So now, everything has to be changed. I'm talking mortgage, my payroll through work, every single bill I have that's on auto pay, car payments, all this stuff. It is such a pain in the butt. So basically the bank had to completely give me new bank accounts, new numbers, everything. They gave me new login information for the online stuff. And then all day I've been like thinking of different ways that they could have got in. And so I'm updating everything I can think of, cleaning up my phone, cleaning up all the apps, just getting rid of all the junk on the phones, updating phones, home computer. I've updated the antivirus and I've sweeped through the computer to make sure there's nothing in there, and I'm updating passwords on emails and anything that was actually attached to my bank account, because since they got in there, they have access to everything that I had in there. So that's a big ordeal, and that really just kind of threw me down today, and I'm not out here doing anything. I did clean up a little. I kind of went through some stuff on this workbench that kind of collected junk and stuff, so I mean, I'm poking around out here, but it's just not video quality stuff. God, life sucks. So yeah, tomorrow's gonna be editing day. I don't know if I'm gonna have any motivation to get up early at all and do anything. So that'll probably be it. So take this as a reminder for yourselves. Make sure all your online information is secure and proper, and make sure you're not getting hacked one way or the other, and keep all your antiviruses updated, and make sure your passwords are getting changed, and I don't know, all the crazy stuff that we have to do nowadays to protect ourselves and our money and everything we own pretty much. So just a reminder, watch out for yourself. All right, well, I guess that's it for this video. I woke up way too late today, as usual. All I did was stuff some tumbleweeds in the garbage can. That's literally what I did. So I'm glad we got a few things done. Not as productive as I thought I'd be. I was hoping to at least get out and go cruise somewhere, drive something, do something fun, but nope, never did. So we're gonna call this quits for this weekend, and I will talk to you guys next time.